Lord. Okay, let's begin. Okay, do you guys, hopefully everyone sort of like understands the container system, right? Like you've like read the books, you like get what's going on. You could type or say yes or type in the chat, like, or do I need to like sort of go over them? Like I think everyone has an idea, right? Like you plug in your calories, you fill out the calculator, and then it tells you, you know, you get 4 greens, 3 purple, whatever, right? Everyone's got that part like mastered, figured out. Okay, I'll just go with that you do. You should. Every program now, it's all on BOD, of course, now, like online, but, which I guess I could show you guys if I share my screen, but I don't even have that stuff up. Oh, shit. But I will open this just so I can do that. I might as well. Okay, so every program, I have the book right now here with me, is going to come with a meal plan. Basically, every single program now runs off the container system so that you can switch through programs, do programs, and easily figure your stuff out. So then, of course, you have your getting started guide. Every program is going to be like this. I just joined. I just got to mute you, Kale. Can you hear me, Kale? Awesome. Okay, I'm just going to mute you because I'm echoing on your mute. Just unmute yourself if you want to ask me something. Okay, so everyone knows this. You go to your program, you plug all your numbers in, like pounds, whatever, times it, figure that out. Then it tells you what your calories are. So then you know where you're at. I can't even see myself, so I hope you guys can see this on the screen. Oh, there we go. There's me. Oh God, I got some gross looking hair going on. So you figure out where you're at. Then you know how many containers in a day to eat. I think that's the basic thing. We can all usually get there. So you're there. Oh, another thing I want to mention is if you have a crazy labor-intensive job or you even have like a good amount of muscle on you, you feel you're used to eating more, you're like on your feet like crazy all day, you may need to times it by more. And it tells you about this later on, so I can't remember exactly what page it is. But it does say if you work like when I used to do landscaping, I absolutely had to times my intake by a higher number. It tells you it's like 13 or something instead of 11, so that you need to eat more because you can't live off of like, you know, a super low amount of calories if you're burning a ton every day. It tells you to do that. And it also has, of course, like, because like I've said in I guess it wasn't in this group, but you can't live on a calorie deficit forever. So once you have reached like a weight you want, then you go into maintenance mode, and it tells you how to up your calories a little bit for that too. So you figure out your calories, you plug them in, then we all know that you go and you find out your containers. But like I said, basically every single program now is like that. And for anyone new, oh, I can't minimize, I keep trying to share screen. Come on. Anyone new to this? This is where you're going to find it all. You're going to go into your BOD, Beachbody On Demand. You're going to pick your program you're doing. Say we'll just keep using 21 Day Fix. And when you want to find this stuff, come on, computer. It's under Program Materials. And then it has everything. It has your workout calendar, tally sheets, your quick fix, the food lists, then the eating plan. So every program has that, has all the resources, and it will have the eating plan for the program, which is, oh, internet connection's unstable. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. So it's going to show you everything, lay it all out for you right there. Since you aren't getting physical copies anymore, this is where you're going to find all that stuff that I just showed you, just so everyone's got that. Okay, from there, meal planning. What is your guys', if you want to unmute or chat or type in the chat box, where do you guys get stuck? What do you think is the hardest part? Where's your struggles? Anybody? You can type it in the chat. You don't have to talk on here if you don't want to. I'm gonna stop share. Look at my big head instead. Following the containers. So just sticking to them, or do you find just like creating a plan with them is hardest?
Just creating a plan, basically. That's easier than trying to type it out.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go over that. So these are my first sort of like steps that I do all the time. Or, well, some of these I don't need to do anymore. But this, guys, I have to say too, when I started meal planning, it seriously took me like hours. Like I wasn't good at it and it was frustrating and I hated it. And now it takes me like 5 minutes. So I do want to say, like, if you keep doing it every week, you're going to get so quick at it. And because you can use the same system with all these programs you're doing, you're not switching through different plans and systems. You're going to memorize it so quickly. You're going to know, like, a piece of bread's a yellow, like, you know, whatever else it is, like a cup of spinach is a green. Like, you're just going to know it all off by heart, basically, once you keep doing it over and over and over. And yeah, and then it's just making plans that you enjoy, that you want to stick to. So my first tips are, go through the food list and write down the foods that you actually like. Some people look at all these lists and they're just like, I have to eat all these foods. I don't know where to, like, and they don't know where to start, right? Because there's lists and lists of approved foods. So go through what you actually like. And once you've written them out, like the smaller list of what you would actually eat, not things you'll sort of eat or like, you know, you're thinking about trying, especially if you're first starting out, I always recommend just the stuff you know that you'll eat and like. Because I know I've tried to experiment and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll eat that this week. Like, I'll just throw it in the list or throw it in my meal plan. And if it's something I'm not that keen on, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's a hard week and you're tired and you don't want to try something new, or you got cravings because you're stressed or you're exhausted, you're not going to want to go to this food that you feel you're meh about, right? Like, you're going to want to go to something you love, a comfort food or something at least delicious that's going to satisfy you. So my biggest thing is, first, go through all the colors, go through green, purple, red, yellow, and write down the foods that you actually like. So then once you have your lists, then figure out, like, how do you eat in a day? Like, what are your meals? Do you have breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner? Or is it breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner? Like, what are your meals going to look like? So portion that out. Then plug in, like, what do you normally eat? Like, what sort of, say for supper, you're like, I freaking love steak. Then put steak for your suppers. Like, it's meal plan approved. It's in there. All you need to know now is that how many reds you're going to use then, and we'll figure that part out after. But plug in the foods you like in their categories. So maybe you love fruit first thing in the morning for breakfast. Plug in your fruits at breakfast. Eggs, maybe you just love eggs every day. You can put them wherever you eat them. Just start plugging in foods where you would eat them and how you'd eat them. And also, when I first started meal planning, I used to try and make like different meals like every single day, every single meal, and it took me forever. And then trying to prep that, you're prepping like tiny little meals like that you eat once, and it's like 1,000 times more, like it'd be a full day of prep, and it's just horrible. Like, a lot of stuff, if you think about it, before you were even, say, eating healthier or meal planning, like, I used to eat the same cereal day in and day out. I was like, okay, so I can still eat the same healthy stuff like day in and day out. It's no different, you know? Like, a lot of stuff we do that anyway. It's just that someone tells you like, oh, you have to, you know, you meal prep, but you eat the same stuff all the time. I did it when I ate junk too. Like, you know, lunch might have been like a sandwich with a bunch of mayo and cheese and ham on it, and that's it. But I probably ate that like every day for lunch. So, you know, now I just switched it up to the healthy things that are kind of the same all the time. And I used to, this is another thing I used to do a lot too, is just rotate each day. So I'd eat sort of the same things like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the same things Tuesday, Thursday. So it felt like it was sort of like, if you don't want to eat the exact same thing for lunch or breakfast for 5 days in a row, you can switch, like, you could alternate them too. That's what I used to do. And now I don't mind. I just find something I love and I'll eat it for like a year. So it's just about finding those meals you love. So like I was saying, start plugging in the foods you actually really like into where you'll eat them normally. And then, okay, so then we're going to start keeping it simple. And this is, I think, where people get hung up too, is when they first start planning, because they really want to like make these elaborate recipes, and they're just getting the hang of this, and they're like, how does this fit in? How does this fit in? my biggest tip is just sort of like go simple at the start, and you can absolutely get creative later. Like, you know, you don't have to live off just chicken and broccoli or whatever you are scared that it is all the time. You can completely like mix it up and add more variety once you've really gotten the hang of it. But for the start, I definitely recommend just keep it simple. Like maybe your breakfast is your fruit and eggs. That's a purple and a red. And then your lunch is like a salad with chicken and, you know, a whole bunch of other veggies and some avocado and dressing. Like that's like greens, red, blue, and an orange. And then supper is like, you know, rice, steak, and whatever else you like, maybe mushrooms and peppers on your steak or something. Like that's a red, yellow, and green. So keep them simple in those little like categories, and you can definitely get more creative after. What was I going to say after that? Something just went through my mind. Now I can't forget. Crap. I was going to say something. Do you guys have any questions so far? Or anything you thought of that you want to ask or comment on while I try and remember what I was just going to say. Damn it. What was I just talking about? Oh, that's what I'm going to talk about. Feel free to throw your questions in the chat. I'll get to them too. But I was going to say lots of people then ask, so how do I count something that is all mixed together? So there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to use stir fry as an example. Because I guess some of it's all mixed together, but you know, something like that where it's a big hash in a pot. First off, you can do it where you cook everything separately. Just season and cook it separately so that your family can take it all and mix it together. And before you take it all and mix it together, you can take your portions out. So if it's like a stir fry type meal, you'd cook your rice in your rice cooker or your pot. You'd fry up your veggies, and then you'd fry up your protein in a different pans. So you kind of have 3 little pans on the go. A little bit more dishes, but I mean, maybe you need it at the start. Creating healthy habits here. So you put all those on there, and then you can measure out what you need. So measure out your yellow or 2 yellows or whatever you're allowed yourself for. Measure out your green out of your veggies, and then measure your red out. And if you want it all mixed together, then you can mix it together on your plate. But it's then measured out. If you need leftovers for the next day, do the same thing. Measure all that out, put it in a container, and you have it. And you know that that container for lunch is like a red, yellow, green, whatever you measured out or had allotted for. So that's one way of doing it. And I mean, then your family can mash it all together and do whatever they want with it. And like, you know, the rest is a free for all for them, but you have yours measured out and you're sticking to your meal plan. So another way of doing it, and I've done this with chili before, is pre-measuring the amount of everything that goes into the pot. So I had meat, I had ground turkey or something. I measured all it out. I measured how many red containers of the turkey went into the pot. So started cooking the meat first, measured it out before I put it all in there. It ended up being like, my clump of turkey ended up being like, say, 5 reds. So I knew there was 5 reds in that pot. So then what I did was made sure to just make everything else equal. So I put 5 greens in there of, I put random veggies in my chili, just whatever. It was like carrots and celery and some tomatoes and stuff. So I put 5 greens so that that's all in there too, cooking with it. And then for my beans, I made sure it was just 5 yellows of beans. So all that went into the pot too. So now I know this pot's all mixed together. I'm like seasoning it with my herbs and spices, whatever. That's all free stuff. It's all getting mixed and flavored. So now I know all I need to do is, once that's done cooking, separate it into 5 equal portions. And I know that 1 portion is a red, a green, and a yellow. So that's another way of, if it's going to be all like a casserole or some sort of stew or something all mixed together, if you know just what all went in there, all you need to know then is how to divide it up. So, and it doesn't matter the sizes of it after, it just matters that it's 5 equal portions that you take out of that pot, out of your whole mix, because then you know it's got 1 red, 1 green, 1 yellow. So that's another way of doing it. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not always the best at explaining stuff. What was I going to go on after that? I think we should make a sample meal plan. Like, does someone want to make one? Does someone have any questions? Kale, can I help you make a meal plan right now on here? You're muted. Sorry, I'll unmute you there. Okay. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. First off, if you don't mind, otherwise, or I can just throw you in a calorie bracket. Or do you know your calorie bracket?
I'm the first one.
First one? Okay. So you're getting 3 greens. 2 purple. 4 red.
2 yellow, 1 orange, 1 blue.
Perfect.
I have it memorized.
Yeah. 1 orange, 1 blue. And your teaspoons too. Those are easy to use though, because it's like oil. Okay. So, what kind of meals do you eat? Like, what do you eat throughout the day? Do you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, or do you have snacks in there, or what do you plan for?
Breakfast, morning snack, lunch, and supper.
Okay.
Very rarely do I have a afternoon snack.
Okay. So you have breakfast, snack, lunch, supper. Okay. So what do you like to eat and where, when? Is there anything specific? Like,
the mornings, I try to either do eggs or oatmeal.
okay.
I find that keeps me fuller longer.
Yeah, for sure. And then anything else? Any other places where you usually eat something regular?
Usually my morning snack is yogurt.
Yogurt.
With some fruit in it.
Okay. Lunches or suppers? Are those are random?
Yeah, usually my lunches will be leftover suppers from the night before if I have leftovers.
Okay. So let's start with we'll start plugging in your foods. Okay, so your breakfast is usually eggs or oatmeal. It's not like you don't eat both. You just eat one or the other.
Yeah, one or the other.
Okay. So what do you want to start with this week? Just oatmeal?
Sure.
Okay, we'll throw oatmeal on there. Do you put your fruit with it or anything?
Lately I've just been putting just some nuts in it, and that's all I've been having.
Okay. So do you count your nuts as a blue?
Yeah.
Perfect. So she's doing that. And you just do 1 yellow right there?
Yes.
So if she counts her oatmeal, so she's already got her breakfast planned. And do you eat that every day, basically, for 5 days?
A lot lately.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to say you do. So you got oatmeal and nuts. So she's already got 1 yellow. I always write, when I do it, guys, I write out the meal. I write out what it is. And then I just write equals 1 yellow, 1 blue. So that afterwards I can go down and tally everything up. So I just always put what my meal equals. Okay, so your snack, you're having yogurt usually?
Yeah.
Anything else with that, or just yogurt?
I usually put less than about a half of a purple in it for
Okay.
fruit.
So you're putting some fruit. So we'll put yogurt and fruit, and that equals 1 red and 1 or half purple. All right, so she's got that so far. So then if we look over here, she still needs her greens, 1.5 purple, 3 reds, a yellow, and that's what we're going to plug into your lunches and suppers. So what kind of things do you like for lunch or supper, I guess, because lunch is usually kind of leftovers?
Well, I eat a lot of chicken.
Chicken, okay. So you can always plug that in. And what I'll do is that's good that you said that, because start plugging into things that you just normally eat, and then you can figure out the portions and how you're going to make it work. So we'll say for supper, she wants chicken. So you have 3 red left, meaning you could do 2 red at supper and 1 at lunch, or you could do 1.5 at each, or you could do however you how would you want to do it?
Probably 2 at supper, I would imagine.
2 at supper? Yeah, I like having a big meal at supper too.
Much at lunch.
Don't eat that much at lunch?
No.
Okay. So you're having, I'm just going to mute you, Megan. So we're going to say that you're having 2 reds for supper. And sometimes, guys, like, that's another thing I do. Say, because I always keep my breakfast, snack, lunch basically the same throughout the week. So once I figured out what those portions are, then I usually always make it so that it equals out like a red, green, and yellow for supper time, so that I know what containers are left, but our suppers are always different. So I just make it work recipes or things that we do all the time that I know will work out to those 3 containers, right? If that makes sense. So it's like these get all figured out and can change up every week, but I just make sure I know that I'm ending the week with a red, or the day with a red, a green, and a yellow, and I can just plug in a whole bunch of different recipes that work into that. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so you have 2 reds gone. What kind of veggies do you like for supper?
Really anything. I eat a lot of broccoli, I guess. Brussels sprouts.
Perfect. So, and you can even list that. So, you're having chicken, you could have, and you could switch through that, right? Throughout the week. Like you could have chicken and broccoli one night. You could have, and you can do it and season it different way. Like maybe you have a baked chicken and broccoli thing one night and some sort of grilled seasoned chicken or some other protein, the next night with your Brussels sprouts, right? Like you guys can mix it up however. So you have 3 greens left. Do you want 2 at supper, 1 at lunch, 2 at lunch, 1 at supper?
For a while there, I was taking salad for lunches, so I would use 2 greens. So I would do 1 green would be like the actual lettuce. The other green would be all the vegetables in the salad.
Okay, that's perfect. So we'll say that your 2 greens are at lunch then. So you're having a salad.
I just didn't find that it was filling enough, but I guess if I add like an egg or something with it, it might help.
Yeah, so that's just 2 greens, so salad, lettuce, and veg. So we'll say you're getting your 1 green at supper. And then now you have, so your greens are gone. You have a red left and you have 2 yellows left. So do you want like a yellow at lunch and at supper? If you're getting hungry.
I only have 1 yellow left.
Sorry. That's my fault. Do you want that at lunch or supper?
Probably supper.
Yeah.
So that could be like rice, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like if you cook up rice and then take out your yellow. So rice. That could be rice, sweet potato, quinoa, bread. If you want a slice of bread, that's 1 yellow. So yeah, equals 1 yellow, meaning you have your 1 red at lunch, which I would definitely recommend because like you said, you're not feeling full off just 2 veg at lunch, which I wouldn't doubt. That's not very much. So let's
at lunch I usually have a fruit as well.
Oh yeah, you have more fruit. What kind of fruit do you like at lunch?
It's been grapes lately.
Perfect. You actually have 1.5 fruit, so you could have quite a bit of grapes if you wanted. I wouldn't eat under because you're in the lowest bracket. That's another thing. If you are in the lowest bracket, please don't eat less than that because that's like not a lot of calories in a day. I would never recommend that. Even in this lowest bracket, like I'm always put in this bracket and I always eat in the next one up. But I mean, it's just up to you. It's how active you are, how much muscle you have. I mean, but I like please make sure that you're eating like all your containers if you're in the lowest bracket. Okay, so did we get all your stuff? You got a yellow at breakfast and you got a yellow at supper. You got a purple at snack. You got the rest of your purple at lunch. You got a red for snack, lunch, and supper. You don't have an orange, which is your seeds or dressing. I guess that's your dressing on your salad.
Yeah.
Because you're having a salad.
And I normally just make a dressing too. I don't actually use a store-bought dressing.
That's awesome. Good job.
Kind of boring, but it works.
No, that's the best. Like, have you seen what's in store dressings? Like,
I have a question.
yep.
What if you don't, like, I love my raw veggies, but I don't like salad. So I don't use dip, I don't use dressing, I don't use anything. So how would I fill my oranges?
So the orange is also like raw seeds, like pumpkin seeds raw, and just an orange. It's not much at all. Like, you could just be like, and eat them in like 2 seconds. But if you like it sprinkled, like raw pumpkin seeds or sesame seeds, I think. Yeah, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds. Like, you could sprinkle them on other meals.
Okay.
If you like any of those.
Hemp hearts on yogurt or something.
Hemp hearts. Oh, I don't know where those go. I would say they're an orange too. Doesn't have them listed though. But I would say, because all these other seeds are flax seeds, olives. Do you like olives?
Love olives.
Oh, well, 10 medium olives is an orange.
Hey.
So yeah, this is Kayle's meal plan. So that's how I do it. Like, I just go through. She's listed what she likes to eat, and then I would write down what it equals in containers, make sure all my containers add up, and then bam. So breakfast, she's having her oatmeal and her nuts. Her morning snack is yogurt and fruit. Her lunch is her salad with lettuce and veggies and her dressing, plus she has, what was your red for lunch?
Oh, that's what I was asking. Maybe like a hard-boiled egg or something with my salad. So
yes, that would be perfect. You get two. 2 eggs is the red. So she's having a salad with 2 hard-boiled eggs and her grapes and her dressing. And then her supper, she can rotate through. She said she likes chicken, so she can have 2 reds of chicken. And then her green of like broccoli or Brussels sprouts, and her yellow of rice or sweet potato or whatever she likes. So that's really just how I do it, guys. And I mean, like I said, it took me so long to start, but I also tried to make 1 million meals at once and plan out 1 million meals. Now I plan out like breakfast, lunch, snack the same, suppers just the different ones, but I can seriously do it in like 5 minutes just because I've done it so many times. So I encourage you to practice, and hopefully this helped. Does anyone have like any questions at all? Any other questions? We can go over them.
I have another question.
Yep.
So most times, I'll add like a handful or sprinkle of like my granola to my yogurt. I actually don't even like yogurt, to be honest with you. It helps my stomach a lot.
Oh, okay.
So would I don't put enough on to be anything, but what would I count that even sort of?
Granola. I would say a yellow.
So I just do like a little bit though. So would it be like a
yeah, like I don't really get uber picky about if you're doing it to every meal. Like obviously stuff's gonna add up if you're like I sprinkle a little here and here, and all of a sudden you're like putting add-ons onto every meal. But I mean, if it's just one meal and you're doing a sprinkle of something, like I don't get that anal about it. And I
crunch in my yogurt, to be honest.
What's that?
Just so I get like a crunch in the yogurt.
Yeah, and no, I don't get super anal about that, and I don't encourage anyone to, because I think that's where you get, like even more issues with food if you're going to stress about things like that.
I don't lie about it. Like even on my posts, I always put that I have granola on my stuff.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about that. Like I even do, like I put like almond milk in my shakes, like a little bit. I just get the totally plain unsweetened. I never count that as anything, and I wouldn't like stuff like that. Like I'm not gonna worry about. But
another question is, I have tried the shake I'll do like 3 different times now, and I still can't love it.
Then you can't.
What can I do? Andrea had suggested even trying maybe the tropical one. I haven't tried that one.
It's like I don't like the tropical, but I love the chocolate.
Yeah, that's what I tried.
What do you mix them with? Do you mix them with banana?
No, I just use water and ice, and then sometimes some frozen fruit.
I feel like banana makes banana is my go-to. I'll just put banana and water with them, and I'm like, they're like so good. I don't know. It's always with almost any flavor. What's that?
I can't have any type of milk either, so I mix it with water all the time.
Yeah, and I do water most of the time too, actually. Like, but I'll just do banana is pretty much my go-to, and really cold water or ice. but yeah, I don't know. Banana makes all your smoothies. Before I even used Shakeology, I just made all smoothies with banana. So I don't know. To me, it's the shake maker, but you could try that. I don't know. Other than that, like I know I have another coach, actually Kayla, who didn't like it for the longest time. And then she mixed it with raspberries and spinach and something else. I can't remember what flavor she uses. And she's in love. It's like but she won't eat it any other way. That's the only way she likes it, but she loves it that way. So you might just find your love recipe of it, or I don't know, but yeah, you could keep experimenting. I do have I have a few samples, but might be able to get them to you if you want to keep experimenting. I do have tropical strawberry. Is that the one you're wanting to try?
I believe that's what we talked about.
It's like bubble gum. I don't know. It's weird. So I like I'm obsessed with the chocolate, but
I take a different taste than I have been taking for a couple of years now, and I do mix it is chocolate, and that's the one I like out of it. But I just can't. I don't know. I want to like the Shakeology. I just can't like the Shakeology.
Yeah, it could just be trying it a certain way, or I don't know.
I was a huge texture freak with the Shakeology. Like it took me a while to get used to it. And Holly but when I blend it with ice and milk, I love it. But I also don't count my milk in my shakes as my yellows. I feel being in the lowest bracket and lifting the weights that I need to be eating more yellows.
Yeah. No, I agree. The lowest bracket, like, don't ever eat lower than that.
I don't lift enough to go higher.
No, but I mean, like, that's so low. Like,
I still have tiny arms.
Sometimes people benefit from eating more. They don't think they will, but they benefit from eating more. So you can always experiment and like eat in the next bracket. But
hi guys, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I've never used the containers. I don't know how many calories is the lowest bracket that y'all are talking about.
It's 12 to 15.
Oh.
It's so low.
Oh my, yeah. Oh. Okay, I just wanted to know that because I didn't know.
But I've had people who can't eat, who think it's a lot of food still.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people out there. I just found out that my best friend only eats 800 calories a day, and I wanted to kill her.
Like how?
I wanted to kill her.
I'm like, 2,000, please.
2,700. Hi.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, that's all. No, thanks.
We have 2 minutes left, so before it cuts us off. So if anyone has any other questions or wants to go over anything else. No. Well, thanks for jumping on, guys. And thanks for being the volunteer meal plan person, Kale. I was like, I hope someone wants to do this because this will suck. Okay.
I was frustrated with I thought I was not eating properly, and I thought I was going to have absolutely horrible results on Monday. Then I didn't, so I was like, oh, guess I am doing it right.
Yeah, it takes it's such a process. I remember for a long time being sort of at a stall and just but you just keep doing it. You just keep doing your meals and not really focusing on don't focus on where the scale or the measurements are at, but just always focusing on having fun with your workouts so that you're doing the best in them, and then just making meals you love that are on your meal plan. And all of a sudden, you'll look back and you'll be like, oh shit, look at the progress I made. It'll just come all of a sudden. It's crazy. Yeah, so keep killing it, dudes. But we're going to get cut off instantly. So I'm going to say bye before we do. And thank you so much for everyone that hopped on. It's awesome. But bye, guys.